I walked in on my wife at my best friend's place, so I quietly planned my next move. My wife blew up our marriage with my best friend, and I decided I wasn't going to lose everything because of it. I'm 40, married 12 years, and we have a 5-year-old son. 2 years ago, my dad died from prostate cancer. Fast and brutal. 5 weeks from diagnosis to funeral. I fell apart. I barely ate, barely slept, and I went through work like a robot. Right then, my best friend Craig got left by his wife, and he had nowhere to go. So he moved into our guest room. My wife said it would help having him around, and at first, it did. Craig cooked dinner, did school drop-offs, played with my kid, and kept telling me, "I've got you." I got put on meds for the depression, and they killed my drive. I felt embarrassed, but I was just trying to get through a day without breaking. My wife acted patient and supportive. Craig acted loyal. I trusted them. Then one Tuesday, a client meeting got canceled, and I came home early. I heard noise upstairs, my bedroom. I stood at the bottom of the stairs, frozen, listening just long enough to know. My hands went cold. I didn't rush in. I backed out, got in my car, and drove for hours. When I came back, I walked inside like nothing happened and said, "Hey, what's for dinner?" My wife smiled too quick. Craig couldn't look at me. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept seeing my son's little face, then my dad's casket, and then them in my room while I was barely alive. By morning, I was calm in a scary way. I started doing the math. If I filed right away, she'd get half the house, half the savings, and a big piece of my business I'd built for 10 years. That business was the only thing keeping my kids safe. I wasn't handing it over, so I acted normal. I made coffee. I kissed her cheek. I joked with Craig, and I started planning. First, Craig had to get out of my house. I waited until my wife was going to yoga, and Craig was alone on the couch. I told him I'd seen an apartment near the place he was applying. Good price. I offered to help him get it. He lit up like I'd rescued him. 2 weeks later, I carried his boxes down my stairs while he thanked me for being the best friend he ever had. At the door, he said, "We're family." I nodded and watched him drive away. After that, my wife's stories got bolder. Meeting my sister, late class, girls' night. She'd come home late, acting light and happy. Sometimes I'd smell Craig's cologne on her when she hugged our son. I'd just ask, "Have a good time?" And she'd say, "Yeah," like it was nothing. Inside, it felt like swallowing glass, but I didn't blow up. I watched patterns. I kept my face blank. I set up a new routine. Work, kid, dinner, bedtime. Then a quiet late-night call or meeting when everyone thought I was just catching up on emails. I talked to an accountant and a lawyer separately, and I asked what I could do before filing. I tightened our shared money so big withdrawals couldn't happen quietly. I made sure the business looked worse on paper than it really was. I delayed payments, cut my own pay on paper, and stacked short-term debt. It wasn't flashy. It was slow and careful. At home, my wife would cuddle up and tell me, "We're going to be okay." Craig would text me dumb memes like we were still the same. I'd answer with a thumbs up and keep moving. A couple times she tested me. She asked why a transfer didn't go through, why a card got declined, why I was suddenly stressed about money. I kept my voice calm and said the business was slow, clients were late, cash was tight. She'd frown, then text Craig right in front of me. Craig even tried to bond with me, inviting me over to watch the game at his place. I smiled and said I was busy with my kid. One night I came home and she was dressed up, perfume heavy, keys in hand. She said she was going out and kissed our son fast. He asked if she'd read him a story later. She said, "Maybe." I read him 2 books back to back so he wouldn't notice. 6 months of that felt like 6 years. Then I filed. I didn't do it with a speech. I didn't give warnings. I just filed. And I had her served at Craig's place because I knew exactly where she was every girls' night. My lawyer later told me she opened the door, saw the papers, and went pale. Craig was behind her trying to hide. She said, "How did you know?" And there was no point pretending anymore. The divorce moved fast. In court, she tried to play shocked and hurt, like I was abandoning her. Her lawyer pushed for money, but the paperwork showed debt, a struggling business, and low income. The judge asked a few sharp questions, looked at the numbers, and ruled. My wife walked out with a small settlement and nothing close to what she thought she'd get. Outside the courthouse, she grabbed for my arm, crying and angry at the same time. I stepped back. Craig was waiting by his car, and she turned and went to him. I got in my own car, drove to my son's school, and buckled him in. Now everyone's saying I'm cold for staying quiet. Was I wrong?